to start the wreath making process, I'm just going to explain a bit about some of the ingredients or the mechanics that we're going to be using today. We don't use floristry foam. Please try and avoid it. It's absolutely full of plastic. There's no need for it. What we recommend using is a metal frame. We use black wire to attach everything. Everything used in our wreaths is either biodegradable, reusable or recycled. First stage is to attach your floristry wire. This is just black florist wire onto your frame. And then we're going to make the base for the wreath. Now we use this blue spruce. It's pretty much the bottom branches from a Christmas tree. So what you need to do is cut pieces of the blue spruce all the way down the main branch. So the only bit we're not going to use is that woody section in the middle. Next stage is just to cut any of your pieces, lay it on the top of your frame, and then with your black wire just twist it over the top and through the middle of the frame, just to anchor it on in a couple of places. It doesn't have to be secure, it doesn't even have to look perfect, you're just anchoring them on to start with. Then take the second piece, you'll notice it's all pointing in the same direction. And again, take the wire, I haven't cut the wire off, keep the wire attached at all times, over the top and through the middle of your frame. Don't overthink it. Just keep piling these pieces on in the same direction with your black wire, just holding them a couple of times in place. So we're going to keep doing circuits of the greenery and it's gradually going to get fatter, wider and more luxurious. Nice large pieces again, just give it extra body and shape. And because we're lapping it round and around, it will gradually get more and more secure as the wire's going to overlap everything that we've already put on there. I've done probably 3 laps now of this base. Once you're happy with the shape and the overall design, and there's plenty of opportunity to tweak it later, so don't worry if you're not. We keep the wire, but just detach it from the wreath. And then I'm just going to twist it around that frame. And then the important thing is any sharp ends, tuck them back inside your wreath so they're not going to scratch you or your front door. The next stage is to add some greenery, which is going to give it a bit more texture and extra volume. We've got a whole variety of different types of evergreen foliage to put on your wreath. So here's just a selection of ingredients that we're going to use today. Some of the holly, the eucalyptus, which smells amazing, some conifer, the ivy, and the pittosporum, and my favourite, the pine. We remove the bottom leaves from each piece because that's going to make it easier to push into your wreath in a second. So with the pittosporum again. For the eucalyptus, you'll actually be able to get 2 pieces out of there by cutting it in half, removing those leaves, and then removing any leaves you might need off that piece. So use absolutely everything. And exactly the same with this lovely pine, just strip off those bottom pieces so we've got a nice bare stem. Now a little tip for the berries, some people suggest actually spraying them with a little bit of hairspray, which not only preserves them for longer, but also helps to keep the birds off your wreath. All my greenery is prepared and ready to go on the wreath. And we're going to slot it in at the same angle that we put the blue spruce on at. You can just insert it absolutely any way you like. And then for the holly, which adds a wonderful symbolic splash of Christmas red as well with the berries. All I need to do now is reattach my wire. I'm just hooking it around our frame at the back and tucking that sharp end inside the wreath so it doesn't scratch me. And I'm just going to, this time more carefully, wind it all the way around my wreath. Just the same process as before, but this time I'm taking a little bit of extra care just to make sure that I'm catching in each of those stems. Cut the wire, and that's your green duck wreath. I just got to decorate it now. I'm going to start with these lovely chunky pine cones. These are very easy to attach. You just take your black florist wire and wrap it round the base of that pine cone and then just twist, and you'll see the pine cone is now on the wire. So I've got 2 long ends of wire. Take those 2 ends, one side of your wreath, the other end through the inside, and twist at the back. So I'm twisting those 2 wires together and then just cut it off, and that's nice and secure, it's not going to fall off. Next, I'm going to add these fragrant green oranges. You need a slightly stiffer wire for this. We call these stub wires. This is a much thicker wire. These have been dried in an oven. Now, if you insert that wire into one of those gaps there, it will pop out on the opposite side. So you've got 2 legs pointing downwards. You insert those legs straight down, vertically downwards into your wreath. You're just going to twist it around your frame, and then that's anchored in place and it's not going to fall out. So next, we've got orange slices. Floristry wire, and I'm going to thread it through the soft flesh. So it's gone through 2, through the 3rd, just through that soft part of the orange. So I've got 2 long lengths of wire and I'm twisting it at the base. Just take them through the greenery, not squashing anything down too much. Twist it on at the back, splay them out, and just adjust them slightly so you've got them in the right position. Next, beautiful cinnamon. What I'm going to do is use a different string to attach these. It's actually got a wire in it. It's called binding wire, but it's got a paper coating on the top. Wrap it nice and tightly around my bundle of cinnamon sticks. You don't even have to tie a knot in it. And tie it onto your wreath. That wire means you can just twist it. And there's 1 cinnamon bundle. And finally, we've got these little bark stars. They're from silver birch trees, just cut out of the bark. To attach these, you can use your string and just thread it around the arms of the star. And then, just as before, you can tie them on anywhere you want them to go. Twist them round and put them in position. Now the next stage is actually to decide which way round you're going to hang your wreath. Now I'm looking at this gap here and I'm thinking that's probably where my bow's going to go. So I've got, I'd say about 1.5 meters of ribbon. You fold the ribbon and hold it at a centre point with your swag or your tail end coming out to the side. I'm then going to fold it into the centre again and hold it in the centre between my thumb and my finger. So this will become the middle of my bow. I'm then going to fold it again around the back and finally into the centre. So you'll see I've got 4 loops and 2 tails, and scrunch it together to create that nice, luscious 3D bow effect. Okay, and then I'm going to tie it at the back. Sometimes it's easier to do this actually when it's hanging on your door. And your Christmas wreath is finished.